Hi there, Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video on the channel, and in today's video you're going to see me going up against a bit of a who's who of fast guys and YouTubers in what was a quite stacked daily race C at Lago Maggiore. I think I pronounced that correctly. But yeah, it features obviously the GOAT SuperGT himself, and I'm going to try and do something I've never managed to do, and that is actually finish a race in front of the GOAT. So watch and find out if I can hold my nerve, or will I do the usual and crumble under the pressure. It's a sweaty one, that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, if you do like the video and you do like the content, if you want to help the channel out massively, hit that like button, even better. Subscribe to the channel, and that will basically make my day, and yeah, it'll help the channel get towards that 5,000 mark, which is still a little bit away in the horizon, but it's a goal nonetheless. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the action. So here we are, we find ourselves looking at this lobby, and as I said, it is stacked. We've got Constant Pole, he's an Olympian, we've got KIE25 in P2, we've got Wind, one of the fastest players in the world, in P5, we've obviously got SuperGT, the GOAT himself, in P10, and we've got Rory as well in P12, so really this is just a who's who, as I said, of GranTurismo 7 in terms of streaming and fast guys, and we will now see where I rank amongst those legends, you know, a YouTube pleb like myself. And here we go. This was my first, and so far has been my only attempt at race C this week. I've been really focusing on daily race B. I love the group 2 cars at Fuji, so, but I thought, jump on, give this a try. Key was streaming at the time, so was Rory, so this race was getting broadcast in front of many hundreds of people. And also the fact we've got the GOAT SuperGT in the race as well. There's always the chance that this might end up in one of his videos. So the pressure was certainly on. It was certainly on from behind, with Wind making the early move to get past me. He obviously knows he's a lot quicker than me. He's a lot quicker than that qualifying time that he had set. So he's making well, he's not hanging around. He's getting straight in amongst the top 4 guys who are all very quick indeed. I was at this point really nervous, I'm not going to lie. I even went to the lens, as you can see, flickering away near the bottom right next to the input marker. I've got the traction control on in this lap because I really didn't want to bin it and send myself to the Shadow Realm on lap 1 with cold hard tyres and a car, to be honest with you, that handles like an angry snake at times. This Porsche 911, it's great round this track, but you really need to try and control it because it will try and kill you at every given opportunity. It's got lift, it's got, well, pretty hefty understeer under acceleration, but it's got really heavy lift off oversteer as well. As we check there, and we can see SuperGT is already up to P8, so he's not hanging around either, making his way through the field. But up ahead we've got Wind now battling with the Spaniard in P3 now. That was kind of worked out in my favour because obviously they could have easily dropped me a lot quicker than this given the pace that I was currently setting, but they get into a little bit of a squabble, a little bit of an argument here, and you can see them, they're having a really good battle though, and this is an example of how to race really hard and clean between these two because they're really going at it. The Spaniard not giving an inch, and Wind really desperate to get past so he can get involved with Key and Consta in the top 2 places. But I was still quite happy just to be sort of in a bit of no man's land almost here, because I was still in the slipstream of the 2 ahead, as you can see Wind making the move there, the final corner, and I've got a little bit of breathing space to the car behind, but you can see ahead they're really fighting hard early on. They're not worried about losing pace to the guys in front, and again I was able to live with them briefly because of the slipstream at this point. You can see here Wind's going to get a little bit sideways, and I don't know how he holds it. I think actually it was the Spaniard's car that really just stopped him from going completely round there, but again, look how much we've been able to close up on them. it's just been really, well, it's good for us, but the Italian's now made it through into P6 behind us, and he's closing the gap on me. So I was kind of at that point of just concentrating on keeping the car pointing forward. That corner there can really get the car out of shape if you don't get the braking point right on it. The back end will want to step out and it will want to kill you. But at this point, keeping with them ahead in the slipstream still. You can see they are starting to pull away now as wind has got ahead, and he is starting to set the pace that, you know, he's capable of. And we're getting caught a little bit by the Italian behind us, but more importantly, we hadn't crashed, and that was my main, you know, concern here. I really just didn't want you know, let this race become one of those opportunities that's you know, bypassed me because of lack of skill, to be honest with you. But yeah, we've managed to, as I said, stay with them. Yeah. So this race was a difficult race. It's a short track, it's a short lap of this particular track. It's quite an enjoyable layout though, although I did miss Big Banky Boy, the big sweeping right-hander, but that sector, the final sector in this track, the full layout is one of my weakest, so I wasn't happy to see it not there. And I was just happy that I was able to, you know, compete in this field as such. And that's one of the things, I know GranTurismo 7 has had a lot of criticism recently, some quite high profile criticism, to be honest with you, but I will defend it quite steadfastly, because I think it is still one of the best racing games out there. I know other games have their you know, USPs, and they go into more depth and detail on certain aspects of racing, but if you want to just jump into a game and race without much practice, without much in the way of getting involved in technical aspects of cars, then this delivers, you know, time after time, and I love the game because of that. And yeah, I will defend it. There are flaws, it does have its issues, but you know, you can see guys like this as quick as the guys in front of me and as quick as the guys behind me. It just brings a lot of quality driving out. And you know, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know, do you agree? Does it still do it for you? Are you fed up with the game? Who knows? Are you playing it more? Are you playing it less? Do you agree with some of the high profile criticism that it has received recently? Yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts and feelings on that, to be honest with you. You guys always have some quite interesting opinions in the comments, but a change has happened here. You can see on that leaderboard we've lost the Italian. He lost it at the long right-hander. As I said, it's a very hard corner. It can kill you quite easily, and he has died of death on that corner. And we've got SuperGT now up to his favourite position, P6, straight behind us, and that's a worry for me because, yeah, I don't care what anybody says. If you look at that and you see P6, SuperGT, that is, you know, that's going to take your eye off the road in front, because I'm unashamedly, you know, admittedly, you know, a fan of SuperGT, and the fact that if it wasn't for him, I doubt I would be playing GranTurismo, making videos, etc. It was because of him that I had the desire to get rid of the Xbox, buy a PlayStation, buy a wheel, you know, make YouTube videos. This guy is just, yeah, he made the game look fun, and his style was something that, you know, drew me in more and more to the game. So at the point when you start doing these things and you start racing, you realise that you're so far off the top lobbies, and you wonder if you'll ever get there and you'll ever get the opportunity to race these guys. So now that I've managed to, you know, get to the A+ lobbies and maintain my rating up there, and you know, I've found myself now I've raced against SuperGT 2 or 3 times in the past now. I've always been beaten by him though, quite convincingly. So there was just something in this race that made me want to dig in and really try and, you know, get a win. Not a win, because I'm not going to beat an Olympic champion. and then 3 of the other fastest guys in the world. As we skip forward to the end of lap 9, I had a decision to make here because I had maintained the sort of 4.5-5 second gap over Super GT, but I was I just suspected he would try an undercut just to, really cut that time. So I jumped in probably a lap early at lap 9, but so did he, and that sort of justified my decision to go early with the pit stop, because it covered off that potential undercut from Super GT. So I now had the problem that I knew these tyres would die fast. I knew the best strategy was to do 10 laps on the hard, because the mediums only really last 5, but we went in one early, so I really didn't want to go too hard on these tyres early, so I was trying to kind of maintain them, and I ended up, you'll see from the lap time I start producing, it's not great, and you can see the gap to the car behind, in particular Matt. He is going to start closing in on me. Now he is on the hard tyre because he, I noticed, pitted very early in the race, so I should have a tyre advantage for the first couple of laps, but like I said, the hard tyre was actually pretty consistent overall, and you could still get some decent times out of it even after 9 or 10 laps. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to see how this finishes up, because we've now got everybody pitting, pitting in the lap that they should have pitted on, lap 10, and we found ourselves up in 5th place still after everything has sort of came to a head, which was good for me. We see somebody actually subscribing to the channel as we speak, as we record this, so thank you so much, Dino. If you want to be like Dino and subscribe, then do it. Couldn't have picked a more perfect way to advertise somebody subscribing by them doing it live while I record this. Anyway, as I was saying, we maintained our position at P5, which I was happy with because there was fast guys behind me, so I knew my pace hadn't been that awful if I was able to do that. I've obviously lost the guys up ahead by quite some way, but so is everybody else. Those are all aliens. An Olympic finalist, KIE, who's probably the hardest working, fastest YouTuber, or one of the fastest YouTubers. We've got a guy who drives for the Euromaster esports team, and we've got Wind, who's a multiple world record holder and will no doubt be a future world finalist. So I'm not even looking at that. For me, the race is on here, and to be honest with you, maybe the race is actually on for P6. Maybe that's the position everybody's trying to get, but we'll see, because Matt is closing in on me, so maybe he actually fancies the P5. But you can see from the fact I was checking back and looking in my rear view mirror a lot there, I could see that Super GT was close to Matt as well, so he's flying on the mediums, and both of those are in the Mercedes, which are perhaps, I don't know, maybe slightly better on the tyres, I don't know, but they certainly had a lot of pace on these mediums. Super GT did, and Matt had a lot of pace on the hard tyre. So I'm starting to worry, I'm not going to lie, I'm concerned, because you can see from my lap times, I've not, I should be doing low 18s, into the 17s on the mediums, and I've just not done that at all. I've been too cautious, trying to make these tyres last, because I don't want any sort of last lap disasters. And at this point, with a lap and a half to go, and a 3/4 of a second gap to Matt, I could possibly see this one out and defend it, and get this all-important, for me anyway, victory over the man, the myth, the legend, that is Steve Alvarez Brown, Super GT. So here we go, we're coming up to the braking point, getting into the last turn, we're going to go down the straight, over the line, and we'll start the final lap, and this is one of the most important final laps of my YouTubing GranTurismo 7, or GranTurismo in general, lifetime, because I really want to finish ahead of that guy who's in P7 just now. So Matt is also a kind of buffer. He's going to try, I'm going to hopefully use him to protect me, and if I can stay ahead of Matt, then that's the goal here. So we come round the right hander, to drop down into second here and just avoid the understeer off there so that you don't get dirty tyres. But Matt just gets tight enough on my bumper, and I'll go to defend it, but he just gets his nose in there. So I back out slightly, and I just accept that he's going to have the position, and I'm just going to have to fall back into P6, which I did say maybe that was the real victory, to finish P6 ahead of Mr. P6 himself. So we've got Super GT behind us now, and I've got over a second of a gap. Surely we can't lose it now. We just need to avoid a penalty here, which we've done, and surely we're not going to, you know, bin it. But he's coming in, you know, fast. Look at that delta coming right down as we get on the brakes here, and he's going to close right up. But I think we just about nail that corner, and you can see the delta. We get a little bit of a gap. I think Super GT went a little bit deep into the braking zone, trying to put pressure on me, and we go over and we take the checker flag over on the left hand side, wave to the family, blow kisses to my daughter and my wife. We've done it, we've beaten him, we've got that victory, and we did it in style by finishing, of course, P6. And yeah, a lot of that was obviously tongue-in-cheek, but I hope you appreciate, yeah, that was a little bit of an achievement for me. And I hope you enjoyed the video, because it's, you know, one of these videos. It's not a Dirty Driver video. I get a little bit of criticism at times for my use of Dirty Driver videos, although I don't make them as often as people might think. Check back on the video catalogue. Not done that many recently. But anyway, that was just a good race. I enjoyed it. I got all the adrenaline that I needed from that one. And yeah, GranTurismo 7 just delivering once again on absolute racing excitement. Certainly for me anyway. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel out massively. And I'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye.